All right, I'm here today, this morning with Tara Jenner, who is the principal of Carrington Primary School. Both word of mouth technology and the school have had a relationship since 2019 when Tara fitted out a Juno system in every classroom. So just here to get a bit of feedback and follow up and just see what the observations have been with those systems, Tara. So if you can provide that, that'd be great.
Yeah, we're a bit of a different school. We've got 65 children, and out of the 65, we've got 15 that are funded, but we've got another following. So it's around 40 to 45 kids that are actually diagnosed with something. And what we were seeing was that we had a lot of disengagement and a lot of misbehaviour in the classroom. And often it was when you come down to it, the kids all said, I didn't know what I had to do. I didn't know what the teacher was saying. I didn't understand what I had to do. And I'd heard of word of mouth through another colleague of mine. So I thought, well, let's try it. So we put it in the 4 grades, and instantly, it was virtually instantly, the kids could hear the teacher. It cut down that anxiety, the auditory processing issues that the other kids were having. It's still there, but it became less of an issue. The children were able to concentrate. There became more learn environments that we could learn in, quiet, well managed, and the behaviours that we were seeing were not peaking as much as they were. And I can't say it's just all word of mouth, but it had a massive influence of it, because we were able to cut down that disruption, and the kids could actually hear what was going on and didn't have to worry about what the background noise is, or who's doing that and who's calling out or who's clicking something. They were able to concentrate better.
Yeah, great. So with the Juno systems in the classrooms, what have the teachers got out of it? What's the feedback that's been from those?
They've been able to teach, which is a great thing when teachers can teach, rather than behaviour management. They were able to, their teaching load or their teaching job became far more what they wanted to do. They were able to teach, they were able to get further down and really concentrate on the kids' academic needs, rather than having to worry about how am I going to behaviour manage this child, because the child is actually more engaged in what they were learning.
One of the things I talk to new schools or new users about is the actual student microphone too, and I think most teachers, when we demonstrate and get the concept of their microphone, what's some of the observations or feedback with the use of the student mic?
The student mic has been unbelievable in how it has impacted our school. We have got 3 non-verbal students that will talk down the microphone.
Awesome. Yeah.
So that's something that once we give them the microphone, it allows them to just speak. They don't have to worry about whether they're speaking loudly. They don't have to worry about voice projection. They don't have to worry about can everyone hear me? They just speak, and it might be only one word, but it's one word more than we usually get. So they just worry about, I have to answer this question, answer it, give the microphone back. But they're our non-verbal students now verbally giving answers to the grade and having the success that everyone in the grade could hear them. And no one was saying, what did you say? What? And they have to repeat it, and then the anxiety gets further and further. So that's been an outstanding change for just those children. And the other children who are not non-verbal, they're now concentrating on other things, not worrying about can everyone hear me. It's now talking about facing the audience, giving eye connection, doing all those things, not concentrating on I have to say this word or I have to say this sentence. That part's been taken away. I can just say it, then I can focus on other things. So it's been a big change for us. Cool.
And it's great to hear from you, because I think that's the data we have access to, and all the marketing that comes out. We display, when we demonstrate it, we sort of say that, but obviously getting that, you saying that and getting those observations, it really shrinks.
And obviously the teachers understood what was going on, but of course we just did it, and the kids just were in the classroom and they were like, I really like this. So, and it changed our
Yeah.
whole feel of our school, the whole dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose one of the things that new technology to classrooms can be anxiety for your teachers, for your staff. One thing we tend to believe in is that it's a fairly simple system to use, but yeah, if you can give us just your observations or if you've had any feedback.
There was a little bit of anxiety from the staff because they didn't want their voice projected. They thought everyone would hear it. There was just, oh, I don't think I need it. But the positive outcomes overrode all of that anxiety and personal anxiety. Once they realised, oh, hang on, the kids are actually engaged in here and I don't have to do all that extra behaviour management, it's just become a norm. Yeah. And we did make an agreement as a staff that we would all use it in all situations. So if anyone notices that someone's forgotten to put it on, because sometimes you forget, they'll just do a signal and instantly it's on. Yeah. But very rarely do we have to say anything.
Yeah, and that's fantastic. I think from management's point of view, I suppose from putting it out there, it is sometimes a bit of a directive that you might have to crack the whip for want of a better term, but you understand that for the long-term benefits that are going to definitely outweigh that for that short-term anxiety that the staff may have.
Yeah, absolutely, and particularly in our school, in our situation, it was virtually obvious immediately. Yeah. So it was hard to argue against something that you could see in front of your face and you could feel it, and you knew that the kids were actually engaged here. Yeah. So they're like, oh, I have to say that it's the benefit of the thing, and it sounds simple. That it's just a microphone with a speaker, but it made such a difference in our classrooms.
Yeah. You've got a fairly high percentage of kids with needs. The kids that would be, for want of a better term, the normal kids. What have the observations been of them?
Well, they also realised that the grade became a more of a controlled learning environment. Yeah. They also realised that even though they were more mainstream, that they had benefits too, because they weren't getting distracted. They could hear it, they could do it, they knew what was going on, and because the classroom was calmer, they were able to work at their best ability rather than having to worry about other kids and what are they doing. Yeah,
because there'd be some anxiety for those mainstream kids, wouldn't there, too, with this behaving going on. They'd be frustrated at times and also feeling anxious. So
because it interrupts their learning as well. Yep. So even though they may be sitting there doing the right thing, if someone else is having a meltdown, it's tricky to keep your mind on the job. And so if those things are cut out, then it makes it much easier for you to concentrate. Yeah.
And again, that's something we keep putting out there to you guys, is it creates a calmer learning environment. So and it's great to hear that. Yeah. No, thank you for your time.
No problem.
Thank you very much, and thanks for the feedback.
Not a problem. Anytime.